Welcome to episode 27 of the Ready for More podcast. So think about, do you want to be that McDonald's low cost, helping people who can afford that, who are looking for that low cost solution? Do you want to be mid-range solution? Do you want to be that boutique kind of specialty solution in your industry, or do you want to be the 5-star solution? Welcome to the Ready for More podcast, where we share success strategies and stories for women business owners, entrepreneurs who are ready for more for yourself and for your business. I'm your host, Heather Cameron, and I'm here to help you to discover your unique path to profitability and success so you can achieve your more on your own terms. Are you ready for more? You can find today's show notes and links at www.igniteyourmarket.com/readyformore. Today's episode Monday tip comes to you courtesy of a post that someone shared to me on Facebook. And it's something that I've often said to my clients, and I want to talk through this a bit. And it's, you cannot sell a Nordstrom product to a Walmart shopper. And I'd like you to think about that a bit. Nordstrom, if you're not familiar with it, is kind of a top-end store. Department store. That's what I was looking for. Department store. And Walmart is a low-end department store. And they're both good businesses. Whether you like Walmart or not isn't the point here. They're both good businesses. They both have a clientele. They both meet a need in the market. And they both are successful. So the question that I would ask you is, and I use an analogy more in the restaurant vein, so I'll walk through that, is who are your clients? It's okay to have clients who shop at a lower end store, and it's okay to have clients who shop at a top end store. So there's two sides to this question. The first one is, who are your clients? But even more importantly, who do you want to be? Who do you want to serve? So for example, if you want to serve a McDonald's level client in your business, what does that mean? That means somebody who's looking for a low-end entry point. They're looking for a particular experience. McDonald's is a particular experience. You know, I know friends of mine who used to go to McDonald's to just buy a cup of coffee and let their kids play in the play area. And they went every week to McDonald's to do that. I have another friend who goes to an equivalent to McDonald's. Her husband goes every morning to get his cup of coffee. So there is a market for that transactional, low-end, everyday product or service, and there is that in your market. Then the second level that I look at in the restaurant industry is like an Olive Garden or a Eastside Mario's if you're in Canada, or a Milestones. I might not know all the restaurants in the US, but that kind of step up, sit down dinner place that you go. The price is reasonable. It's a chain store. You can find it in any city you go to. It has consistency, so you know you're always going to get the same meal and the same experience. And it's kind of a night out for a lot of families. They might go once a week, once a month out to a restaurant of that type and have an experience. Well, what's the equivalent of that in your industry? What's the equivalent of that kind of mid-level, local, chain restaurant that offers that sit-down dinner with consistency that you're used to? And then in the restaurant industry, if you step it up a level higher, there are the local 3-4-star restaurants, like a really good Italian restaurant where you can go and sit and have a great Italian meal, and it's unique, and you can meet the cooks and the owners, and there's a unique experience in that. That's going to service another set of clientele. And I have colleagues and friends who that's their preference. They don't want to go to the chain restaurants. When they want an experience, they want to go to that local restaurant. And then at the top end of this, you have the 5-star restaurants. You have the restaurants that, I remember when I was a kid and we would have a special family occasion, a graduation or a very special birthday, we would go to that really high-end restaurant in Montreal where I lived. And those restaurants have a place and they do booming business. They're expensive. They offer you that very special feeling, and there's a place for that. So in all industries, this exists. So for example, if you wanted to redo your website and you wanted to look at your brand, there are low entry brands. There's Fiverr that people use. There's a bunch of different places that you can do to go and get a low entry brand. And then there's the top agency who probably services people that are, Microsoft and other people like that who need a top agency in their brand. All of them are valid markets. So what I ask for you to think about is, what market do you want to serve in your industry? Do you want to serve the low-end market? Do you want to be a McDonald's? Do you want to be an Olive Garden? Do you want to be a private small boutique type restaurant that serves your immediate community, or do you want to be that 5-star special occasion restaurant? They all exist. And where do you want to be? And it's so important to determine this, because that's going to make a difference on who your clients are. So for example, in the fitness industry, if you're all familiar with Planet Fitness is the McDonald's of fitness industry, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a $10 monthly fee here in Canada, which is a great price, and it's a good studio. It's got good equipment, usually very clean, got a really unique atmosphere. Nothing wrong with a $10 a $10 Planet Fitness membership. And there's a lot of people who like it. It meets their needs. And then stepping up in Canada would be a Good Life fitness program, which has more classes, has more amenities, it costs more per month. There's another one in town that's even bigger than that. And then there are a number of people I know who have chosen to be personal trainers, and they offer a boutique solution. They offer an in your house, I'm going to come over to you and train offer. In different market, different set of people, but valid and definitely there. So what do you want to sell into? So if you were a fitness trainer, do you want to work at a low end, at a high transactional, reasonably priced facility? Do you want to work on a private clinic? I used to go to a physio who had their own personal trainer, so they were definitely charging more. It was a private clinic. Or do you want to do in-home, right? So understand the market that you want to sell to, and therefore that's going to drive the marketing material that you write for it. And you can apply this analogy to any industry. So think about, do you want to be that McDonald's low cost, helping people who can afford that, who are looking for that low-cost solution? Do you want to be mid-range solution? Do you want to be that boutique kind of specialty solution in your industry, or do you want to be the 5-star solution? I've used this analogy with one of my clients. I've used it with a lot of my clients, but one client in particular, it really has resonated with. They want to be that second-tier solution. So their language is going to market to that second-tier solution, and that's what I'm trying to get you to think about, is when you know the tier that you want to be in, your marketing language is going to be there. So this is another way of looking at how you get really crystal clear on your market. So we often talk about niching our market, and we talk about looking at the attributes of your market, looking at their age demographic or their buying habits or other things. And this is just part of that niching. It's part of understanding who your market is, but it's also got a slightly different tilt to it, which is starting to really identify with who you want to work with. Because I could decide I want to create food and I want to create amazing food, but I can decide how I want to deliver that and which market I want to be in. And they each have different attributes of how you're going to sell. So if you look at it from a service-based industry, I can create a small, a low-priced item, and I need to sell a lot of them. Or I can create a heavy, big ticket item and I only need to sell a few. And we can all do the math on this and figure that out. But where do we want to sit? How do we, from an integrity point of view, from an authentic point of view of looking in yourself, where is it that you want to be? What feels right for you, and which market matches how you feel? So that's kind of my tip for this week, is to look at that niche from a slightly different way and look at the type of market you want to serve. Because if you're going after, you want to serve that 5-star market, and because somebody's convinced you the math makes really sense, which it does, I can sell $10,000 products to get to 100,000. That's really appealing math. But if that's not truly the way that you work, and it's not truly sitting authentically with you, then that's not your market. And you have to look at how do you fit into your market, into how you sell and how you authentically approach it, and what you want to be in your industry. And that's kind of a different way of looking at your niche. And so part with that, think about where do you want to fit in, what suits you, and what does that mean to your market? How does that fit into your market? What tier do you become in your own market? Thank you for listening to this episode of the Ready for More podcast. You can find today's show notes and links at www.igniteyourmarket.com/readyformore. My name is Heather Cameron. I'm your podcast host. And when I'm not hosting this podcast, I'm busy working with entrepreneurial women like you who are ready for more in their business and are looking to get focused on their own unique path to success. You can find more about myself and my programs at www.igniteyourmarket.com. If you like what you heard, feel free to rate, review, and share with your friends. And don't miss an episode by subscribing. Until next time, remember, now is the best time to focus on your more and be inspired by your own unique gifts.